a queer chaplain. This is Daily Live number 30. That's 30 of Lacing Your Narrative with a Spiritual Thread. And our focus is, what is your ideal? And for folks who might have noticed, number 29 actually was, I talked for 17 minutes. Like, no joke, this is embarrassing. And it didn't record the audio. So it was interesting. I was live too for 17 minutes. And yeah, so there's just a bunch of muted videos that were created. But I went ahead and removed them all. And I guarantee you it was like the best stuff I've ever said in my life. Not so much, but hey, it was, it is what it is. So this week we are talking about, what is your ideal? And let's see, I have a little bit in my head right now. I was at a church service. It's actually still going on at Zao MKE, and they're talking about the Bible and kind of the clobber verses, the way that Bible is used to, I don't know, tell people they're wrong or going to hell, that sort of thing. And anyway, I think for me, so my ideal, what is my ideal spirituality or experience with spirituality or the divine or whatever, would be to be able to be in a space in which I don't need to debate or prove or tell anyone that that like my life, my existence, my way of being isn't valid or good or holy or divine, or warrants some sort of like whatever. Like, I have my own internal compass. I have my own relationship with divine and with myself, that I can determine if something is not useful or helpful to me. I think the other thing that's helpful too is the thing I would like, though, is to have people in my life who I can connect with in those ways, who get me and who can remind me of my, I guess, my intentions and my process, and just to check in with me. But I think that's going to be a lot of what I'm going to talk about tomorrow with my aunt on the topic God hates, which is our final episode for this season. So that'll be at 10:30 tomorrow morning. But my ideal, yeah, I've been talking a lot about this, but I don't want to. I want to have a relationship with the divine, with God, with spirituality, with you, in a way in which I'm not coming to you broken or desperate, or trying to get something from you that you can't give me. And I feel that same relationship with the divine or whatever. I think there was a time when I needed to be desperate, because I think that that's just what it took. Some people call God the gift of desperation. I think I needed to get to a space of desperation to feel like I needed a relationship with the divine or with God or whatever. And I did, but I don't think that that's the relationship I want to continue to have, or that I'm having now. It's the idea that, like, and I was talking about this in that clip that that didn't get saved, but basically, it's like, so Dwayne Wade, who is an athlete, he was interviewed on a show called The Athlete, and he was talking about his daughter who was trans, and he was sharing his experience not only with his daughter but with his son as well, that his job as a parent is not to, at first his thought was, okay, I'm a ball player, I do this, I do that, I'm going to teach my son to do the same, and he's going to do that. And like, in understanding and coming to know that his kids were different than he was, he needed to kind of look back and like kind of look around and kind of see what he needed to learn in order to support them and help them in their life, to move forward in the way that they are meant to. And just the way that he talks about it is just really cool. And I think that's the way of parenting, if you will, even though I hate using that idea of like God or the divine or spirit or whatever as like parenting. But I think a lot of the times we as humans, we kind of have to personify, if you will, the divine. I don't think that we have to, but I think we often do in order to understand or explain a relationship to or with that. And it's just like I want to parent like Dwayne Wade or a relationship with the divine in which I can have it in my life to help me and to like give me strength and courage and hope. But not that I'm trying to fulfill it, like parents who might. And again, I'm not a parent. I don't know what it's like to be a parent. I don't know what it's like to what you get from being a parent, but I don't want a parent, if you will, or a relationship with the divine that's just trying to get me to fulfill some sort of void that it has, or some sort of purpose, or some sort of it's so weird because when you start putting it into like a parental concept, it loses its I think it loses what I'm trying to convey. But basically, I don't want a relationship with the divine or with you or anyone I don't want to come to you as if I'm broken or if I'm sick or as if I'm not a whole person or a whole being. And in particular with God, with the divine, I don't want, I'm healed, I'm healing, I'm a whole person. Yeah, I just think it changes the relationship with something that you're choosing to be in your life to add to it versus something that you have to have in your life in order to matter or exist. And I think that's something that constitutionally, like, and within ourselves, that we need to come to know and understand about ourselves without the affirmation of that which is outside of us and like God and that sort of thing, or the divine. So I think once we're able to, and I think it's part of a process, right? Like I know I didn't just like, it's taken me to a process to where I don't feel like I need a crutch. I don't feel like I need a certain God or a certain relationship with a certain person or certain situation in order for me to be okay and for me to. And I don't want to do it alone, and I don't want to do it without accessing things that are helpful and useful. So I don't want to make that in the sense of like somehow like I'm my own, like I don't need anyone, or I don't. And I think that need versus want is kind of that definition or understanding that might change. And I think that's like the paradox or of it all, is that idea that I don't need that, but I do. But there's also a desire that I want that. So it's not just that so I think that's my ideal spirituality or relationship with the divine, is if I can show up and know that I'm a whole person, that with you, with God, with the things in my life is adding to my life, not filling some sort of void or hole within me, but something that is coming alongside me, something that is coming underneath me to lift me up, or something that is coming, like, I don't know, I just don't. And yet it's inside me too, right? The spirit is inside me as well. But I think I hope you get what I'm saying. But yeah. basically that's where I want to be with my relationship with the divine or with God or whatever, or even with myself, is just to be in a space of knowing that it's that grace of knowing that I have value and I have worth and have purpose and I matter, regardless of what I'm doing or not doing. And yeah, and that I'm a whole person. I'm not broken. I'm not broken. I'm not fragmented. I am whole, and I'm living in all my parts that used to be pieces. That I think sometimes we're told are things that we need to change or remedy or whatever, and that's just part of our experience. And I think it's helpful for us to let go of those things that are no longer serving us. But I think that's the way to look at it too, that are no longer serving us. Because I think even our maladapted or not so great ways of existing are, I don't know, they are what happened, and they are, I don't know. I just don't see it as being I don't think it's helpful to see it as being a bad or like dark mark in our life. But it's just part of a way that we existed, and now I'm in a position in which I can exist differently, because I have different skills, I have a different awareness, I have different wisdom and understanding, and or even needs or perceptions of needs and desires change. So I think that's helpful for me, so that I don't have shame, so that I don't have guilt, so I don't have some of those things that are not useful, and can just kind of suck the life out of the living. I mean, like, I'm alive, walking the earth, but am I living? Am I full of life? And when I'm not full of life, what's usually the cause of that? Those are the things that I think I want a spirituality that helps me remove those things. Shame, guilt, fear, judgment, fear of being judged, rejection, all that sort of stuff. So I'm rambling now, but I'm going to go ahead and say that's all I'm sharing for today. It's what is your ideal? So this week we're exploring what is our ideal spirituality, divine, or relationship with. And so it might be your understanding. It might be something that you're trying to believe and actually live out into. Maybe it's a daily practice or some sort of practice or group or community that you want to be a part of or are a part of, but want to deepen your relationship with. Any of those sorts of things are things that we're focusing on this week. I need to get in drag for a video shoot today, so I'm going to bounce off of here. But I, again, welcome you all. Have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. If you're out in the sun, wear sunscreen. I know, totally random, but have a good one. Take care.